what to do.
Host.
Yay! Welcome to the Isle of Roux.
Welcome to you.
Welcome to you.
Look at this lovely sunset we have.
Oh my! Even the color is coming a little bit.
Look how far after point, and it's in the wrong direction.
That's really funny. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
So I thought we'd put the view of Roux up for you. It's the least we could do.
The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Wilkinstis is the ancestral territory of the Siksika, Sitipi, the Siksika, the Kaina, Pikani, and the Amskap Pigani. We acknowledge all First Nations, Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutuna, Viethkubi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truths, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands, and who now call this place home.
Home.
Yeah. We're trying a different perspective tonight.
Oh, let us know it. It's slightly different. We'll probably change it up in a bit, but it is nice to see the sun go down. Who is that with us? Theo.
Oh, Theo.
There you go, Theo.
Greetings, dear ones.
Greetings.
Hi.
What do you think of our view?
Very nice. Yeah.
Just thinks it looks like a green screen.
Almost, yeah.
With the curtain there just to make it seem like, oh yeah, that's real.
We have the most ridiculous curtains. Although it makes it nice when we're watching the Muppets.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, that's cool how it flips.
Yeah. Did you hear my child?
No, I think you just bumped that just a little bit.
Up a chow. Okay. I suppose, Theo, can you hear the traffic?
I can.
Okay. I'm turn the volume down.
Now you're back to a red screen.
We can leave it. Is it too dirty to leave it open?
Dirty? No.
The windows?
Just better lighting control if we have can you pass me that green?
Oh, look at that. Nice. Lovely. Isn't that lovely?
I have this crazy idea that like these things matter to the people that don't know us. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Actually, yeah.
Like we're hoping that 1 billion people will watch. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't make it any better, but oh, that's good cocoa. I'm gonna do a thing where I lower that down a bit. I'm gonna need you to be my eyes.
Okay.
So keep in mind I'm gonna fix the adjustment, but I'm gonna go lower. How's that look?
Good. Actually, good.
Okay, and then do I need to change this?
Oh, no, not really. Oh, that's good. But your head will fit in better.
Hard to believe both things can be true.
It was okay, but that was better when you adjusted it.
We were almost late tonight, hey?
Well, it's like, yeah. Well, we always do we do different things when we're working. We're like on it because we have the schedule. But now that we're lost in the abyss of nothingness, it's easy. It
has been weird since we first went on strike time. Is how weird flipping in on itself. This is such nice paper, and then it kind of breaks my heart.
Do you want me to give you another piece of watercolor? No, it's good to use it.
Where did we get it from?
It's gifted.
Yeah, we wouldn't buy this.
No.
Ooh, nice for me. Oh, that was a nice fold, though. Nailed it.
What is it? Arches?
Yeah.
This is not
Oh, Windsor Newton.
Windsor Newton.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. When it gets wet, it
what
smells
does it say on the bottom?
a little bit eggy.
Oh, you know what? Look on that water print here.
What?
Flip it.
What?
There's another watermark. Oh, it says Windsor Newton there too, differently.
Telling you.
Backward. Cool.
Did you guys know that Canada Post is doing rotating strikes?
What we knew is that Felix wrote his sister a letter last week and it hasn't arrived
2
yet.
weeks ago, yeah.
So we kind of got out of the habit of checking our mailbox because Why did you send us something, Theo?
No, I was at picking up some medicine today, and there's a post box or a post office there.
Yeah.
And I saw someone mailing something, so I went up and said, "You guys are taking mail?" And she said, "Oh yeah, it's we're doing rotating strikes." And I go, "Oh, I thought Canada Post locked you guys out." And she said, "No, they went back on that." And I never saw that in any of my news feeds.
That's interesting.
Either the postal workers or the Canada Post. I was kind of pissed off, but I missed that. But that's my cross to bear. But yeah, when I got home, sure enough, I had mail in my mailbox.
Yeah, we stopped checking.
That's interesting. Actually,
I wonder if it's just self-preservation that if they leave it too long, it becomes unmanageable. Like when we go back to teaching,
unmanageable.
We get unpaid for 2 weeks, but then we'll have to go back and do all the work double in the same amount of time. Though we won't be being paid more.
Though.
And then we'll get back to the school and we'll have meetings where particularly like math and science teachers will say things like, well, how are we going to be prepared for the exams if we've only got 1 month left? And I would probably say, if you're capable of preparing these kids for the exams with a month's less teaching, perhaps we're not working hard enough.
Yeah, you always bring
It's possible.
Good perspective.
It's possible to get caught up. Well, I just say like certain times, like sometimes.
You brought that up after COVID too. You're like.
I said if we're not falling behind a bit, there's probably a day-to-day problem.
Yeah.
That we're not doing enough. But I would argue that we're always doing as much as possibly could be done.
But my mom said that too, because we sent off 2 pieces of mail today, and she said the same thing, Theo, that she went in and she was surprised that they were there.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to that effect, I must say.
That's good.
Oh, we've got lots of people with us.
That is, oh, wow.
Anybody want to bid on an art piece?
Is
there 8 of you there? Can you grab one? Just for fun. There's 2 there. First, there was a house. Would anybody? Oh, there was 8, and then I said 5, and they just bolted like. Pew! Wow, might be a good time to show you. Our movie for the week.
Yay!
One's a protest song. The other one is a new feature we have. You ready?
Let's let her rip.
Richard's head. Black. All right, gang, now settle down. Fade in. Detective's office, nighttime. This city never sleeps. Maybe it's why everybody looks so tired. I've been running on coffee and bad decisions for 3 days. I got 1 cigarette left and not even 1 match to light it. Then, without even touching the knob, some thug kicks open my door. Listen here, dickhead. That's Detective Richard to you, chum. You owe Mr. Nichols 2 months' rent, and I ain't leaving without I see it. You hear? The thug pulls out a gun and points it right at my own head. Hey now, big fella, no need to get tough. I got what you want just right here. I reach in my pocket for Mr. Stubby. I figure Mr. Stubby will be plenty enough to handle Mr. Nichols. And then I find in my pocket that Mr. Stubby has been lifted. Come to think of it, Mr. Puggley's here is holding my own gun, pointed at my own face in my own office. Then I guess Mr. Nichols had his own key to my safe. I reach in my pocket and I say, I got what you want right here. And I pull out 2 fingers and I say, pop, pop. Just then, Mr. Pugs has a heart attack and he dies right there. I never wanted to bring no harm to no one. What Pigsley didn't understand is, come round here and it's all about imagination. Imagine rules everything here in Detective Richard's head. The next thing I know, some dame walks in and she says, Detective Richards, I have a problem.
That was fun.
Yay. Rich got a new toy and it inspired new storylines.
Yeah, we're in the mall and I'm like, I need a rubber gun. She's like, I don't think you do. I'm like, no, it'll provoke thought.
So what was the toy?
The rubber gun.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Stubby, no doubt.
There we go.
Here's a funny painting. It's of a diner. I might put more people in that diner.
Oh, that's
That
fun.
could be engaging.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that later. This is not a painting. This is some detritus. And this is a painting.
I like that one.
And this is a painting. I painted this while I was in the dark, mindlessly watching TV. And when the lights came on, I was like, I kind of like that.
I really like it.
I love octopuses. Oh, this is detritus.
Oh, and this is the end of it.
That's just the end of the book.
Shout out to Scott K, who gave us
Right, I thought we
the
bought
paper.
that, yeah.
Those are tradesies.
Tonight I'll be drawing with my Fisher Space Pen. It's quite small, but when you put it together the other way, it makes a nice long tube. And it's very heavy on the bottom, very light on the top. That's nice. It writes upside down and sideways and underwater. And in the space capsule. The Fisher Space Pen.
That was so good. Just so
What?
helpful. Little advertisement.
I thought I'd do a little teaching tonight.
I like that. Oh, that's cute. Ryan Ohashi. Remember the article?
This doesn't need to be here.
doesn't.
That's not part of the room. Here, can you just put that
Oh,
over
yeah,
there?
sure.
What's so nice? What happened?
Ryan Ohashi is with us maybe momentarily.
Yeah.
Remember he did an article about
Do you
it
wanna
right
send
at
him a
the
link?
end of the Rumble.
It's in your.
He had on our, he clicked like on our reel already.
Oh, but if you want to send him a link, you could join us. It's in your phone there, in your messages.
I just don't know how to find. Sometimes I think people
All right.
just
Can
like
you see right here? I gotta zoom out a bit. Okay. I don't want to show too much of my messy table. You know, I wish I was here tonight. Georgia. Georgia.
Did you see her coyote picture from the week?
Didn't I buy her coyote picture? Which it, and I reached for Mr. Stubby. Okay. What I want to capture the attention. I don't get to teach because I'm on strike. I wonder if my union catches me
Teaching on the Isle of Roux.
teaching on the Isle of Roux.
Halt! Who goes there?
All Alrighty. Is that screen frozen? I think it might be. Is it moving now?
No.
I got freeze. Huh.
There you are, Peter.
I wonder why my hands are frozen. See, look, they're not. Look at. They're not there.
Oh.
Camera's acting a little goofy tonight, tell you the truth.
Camera.
What is unfortunate is the camera that comes built into the computer here had such beautiful light. So that's our laptop camera, and this is our professional desk camera.
Professional.
But the laptop camera, when the curtains was open, was just gorgeous. Oh, now it's just a reflection off of the handsome lamp. Okay.
All I really want to do is maybe be friends with you.
That song was also on 24 Happening Hits by the original artists.
Really?
And I believe they were. That is. I broke the Hudley. I broke the Hudley, but I didn't shot no deputy. Oh no.
Do you want me to help with anything, or you're just doing your thing?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You're the camera expert?
No, I just.
I'm the camera expert. Oh, this is why. Watch this. Turn the camera back on.
That's so nice.
It's still frozen. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That really flipped me out.
You're
What?
unfrozen.
Well, my hand
Hey.
still. Okay. And then I'm going to put this here. It's kind of a slow pace show tonight.
Nice and calm.
And I will image adjustments. I'm going to just check the brightness again. I think that's. Oh, do you like the shadows or no shadows? I kind of like the shadows.
Shadows are nice.
You can see, this is an interesting little lesson here. You can see that there's so many lamps here.
All
I've
the
got
shadows.
3 shadows there, which I think inspired a lot of the graphic design work of the
Graphic
70s.
deniers. I deny that there is a graphic nature
Design.
to the land.
Design.
No, I know. It's just funny. I wasn't even making fun of you. I just thought of graphic
You were.
graphic
You were.
deniers. No,
I don't mind when you make fun of me.
no, I'm not making fun of you.
Okay, so I often put an X for my vanishing point. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Only because you've heard me say it.
No, because I show your 2-point perspective demos online all the time.
Okay, yeah, and then do you know why I put an X for the vanishing point?
Instead of a dot? I'm not sure.
Well, because the dot, as you're drawing lines
Oh,
over
will
it,
disappear
starts to
into the-
obscure.
Oh.
And with the X, you have more to work with in terms of like, whoa, let's move so fast. Okay, you can't really see my vanishing point there though, so I don't think you're going to see my lines.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
This is the kind of thing, if I was more of a professional, I would arrange before I got started.
I can see it, and people can
Is
see
it where is it the best? Right here.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
As long as I don't freeze again. Oh, some serious trauma. No, like I have such deep trauma on things. Okay. And I'm using my green ink in my space pen. Space pen continuing. Okay. So actually the 2-point perspective often I think is a little cheap because you're in the 1-point perspective, you're treating all of your vertical lines as though they're just straight up vertical. And that's not authentic at all. By the way, you know when I do this, I'll do this when I have new students that are being jackasses.
Nice.
Did you know that about me?
I do actually, because I know there's a few things you pull out.
These are a couple of my jackass distractors.
Jackass distract. Everything has such a good sound to it.
Yeah.
Tonight.
You remember not too long ago I went to your school and the kids were being jackasses. They're nice, but
It was
like,
last year.
it was like some kind of music concert.
Yeah, it was a Christmas concert. God bless. Like God
I just thought I was going
you.
home, but instead I got trapped at the Christmas concert, and
Happens to the
of course
best
all the
of
kids
us.
were being jackasses.
I've never been one of the backstage people before.
Right. And
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
no, but like they were just excited.
I know.
Jackasses.
They're
They're excited.
it's junior high. Like
They're 100%
Yeah.
excited jackasses, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
but what I was trying to say was that like basically this is the kind of thing that I'd say to somebody like, does anybody want to see this? And if they do, they're welcome to sit down and have a look.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, there's like zero obligation to stop being a jackass and sit down and look. But generally, like you'll have that like amazing, like that one kid you have that ended up on the district website.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, did I teach that kid? You did for like 3 minutes, Rich.
Yeah.
And and she was very attentive, like really bright kid. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not all jackasses.
Wasn't
And
he
even
a jackass?
even the jackasses are sweet. They're just
If you want to find the middle of a thing,
they're just oh yeah, that's a good trick to
this is the middle of that car,
you did the X. You just didn't draw it out. That's cool. Oh cool.
right? And then
That's
if
so
I want
good.
to know halfway between the front and the back, that's halfway. And if I want to do the same thing in the back, I go. And that's halfway in the back. The bottom of this little box here, I'm going to just estimate that that's the back there. Bottom of this box. How am I doing?
It's so cool. I like that this is a way to get into the like using your imaginative eye.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're putting these lines down and then all of a sudden there's a 3D object on that 2D plane.
Yeah.
If your imaginative eye is well exercised.
If the wizard is a wizard who will serve. That one's a bit of an anomaly, that one, because so I think I tell this story quite a bit that my teacher told me that you couldn't do a 6-point perspective drawing, and so I didn't try. She just said it wasn't possible, and I thought that was like truth.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the truth of things, and so it wasn't until I started teaching that I started questioning these geniuses that told me that there was primary colors and you couldn't mix the primary colors because they're the primaries, and the secondary colors were the colors that can't be mixed. I mean, that can be mixed out of the primaries, but you can't make the primaries out of the secondary colors. And it so happened that they also told me I couldn't do a 6-point perspective, and I decided to try it one day. And to my shock,
To your horror.
Well, and I did it, and I was like, oh, that's weird that they told me it couldn't be done. That's a weird thing to say. But I also did it on a day that it was kind of near the end of the year when a lot of even my top students near the end of the year start to drift away from art making and start to focus on their studies. So like I tend to have the kids that aren't really studious in my art room alongside the kids that are like super vigilantly studious. And then near the end of graduation, the grade 12s, they like, what's the word? They start to detach a little early.
Decouple.
Yeah, they decouple because they have to go on with their lives, and it's scary to do that. So knowing that the great decoupling is coming, I think to some extent also with Kevin, his kids are kind of like getting away from him a little bit and start to hang out in the art room. So I end up with this brand new batch of art students, just like won't leave the art room. Grade 12s, April to June. And a lot of them like, oh, like I should have taken art sooner. And some of them end up like going to art school not long after, like, I changed my major. And that's kind of where I was at when when I was messing around with that 6-point perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Is I was kind of at the point where my regular students had kind of checked out because they had to study for exams. And then my brand new guest students were checking in because most of them were even done their exams, or some of them were just like, again, getting used to the idea that they weren't going to be. I often try and talk to the grade 12s as well. Like at October, I'm looking at these kids and saying, like, this is your last school Halloween. Because it's less devastating than when I say a few weeks later, this is your last Christmas Halloween, you know? And not that I'm trying to devastate the kids, but I really do pay attention in grade 12 with those kids to like slow down and feel your way through this year, because this year will be a big part of the rest of your life. You will spend countless nights waking up after the dream where you went back to high school and you have a locker and you want to do things right this time. Like I think like the 21 Drum Street series had more to do with like that dream to go back to high school than anything else, right? Like, what's that noise?
I don't know.
It's a funny noise.
Mackenzie.
Oh, somebody said they don't want to die, which might be based on my TED Talk that we just shared.
Oh yeah.
I like to share my TED
Then you
Talk
keep
because,
making art. Then you don't need to worry about it.
oh no, that was somebody being funny.
Yeah.
I do remember like somebody coming into the gallery and ready to fight because they saw the sign that said "Stop making art and die," and they thought it was like an attack on my person. And I was like, no, it's my TED Talk. That was me. Like I can totally see like if you walked into a gallery and said "Stop making art and die," kind of like strange in the right, like if it was aggressively sent out, that'd be kind of ugly. Like you're singing, it's like stop singing.
Rich,
What?
I want to know what's a 6-point perspective.
You want to know, or do you what? Sorry.
Yeah, I have never heard of that term. Sounds like something one of my characters would use to open a dimensional portal or something.
Truth.
Well, I used to do a lesson on perspective drawings, and I would explain the difference between the different points of perspective. And then I would also explain to them that by the time they get to the 6 points perspective, they were only like 2 more dimensions away from space-time travel. So you're not far off, right? Like I think a 10th point perspective starts to be where physicists start talking about moving through space and time independently. But a 1 point perspective would often be, say, if you were, you know this, but I'm just putting framing context. A 1 point perspective would be when the has one vanishing point, kind of looking down a railroad track could be the first one you ever do. A 2 point perspective is this, where I have things going into this vanishing point and into this vanishing point. A 3 point perspective, it would look more like I had my eyeball next to this or my eyeball next to this. If the van was caving in and it looked like I was an ant by the wheel, or if it was flaring out and it felt like I was a bird about to crash into the top corner of this, that would be a 3 point perspective. There really isn't like a 4, 5, and 6 perspective so much, 4 and 5 perspective. And the 6 point perspective is kind of a nickname for when you're looking into a sphere and you're seeing a curved fisheye lens. Escher was making fisheye lens paintings before there was fisheye.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that sounds like an MC Escher.
Yeah, and it's cool because the vanishing point. There's 2 vanishing points. One is the vanishing point, and the other one is in the center. So it's like that's what that 6 point. It's like 4 point perspective, but then that like the you are one of the vanishing points. Which is really
what
cool.
I would say about the 6 point perspective is it's not authentically done the same way as the 2 point, 3 point.
Yeah,
this is all broken down to like matching this point, matching this point, and you're using a ruler.
Yeah.
At the 6 point perspective, there's a shit ton of inference, right? Like at the point that you're doing the 6 point perspective, a lot of it is like I can actually, like I said, I'm using arrows and angles to find the middle. You can also do like a formula to do that, but 6 point perspective, it becomes necessary to guess a lot of stuff.
That's interesting, actually. So you have to eyeball it more because
you have to interpret certain things because because the lines get so congested.
Right, that's what it is.
Right, like on a 2 point living room drawing, you can literally grid the floor.
Yeah,
and put it, like we used to have an assignment where you had to put a 4-foot table next to a 2-foot table next to, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, I see. Yeah.
And then so you actually had to do it to the dimensions of the furniture. And I wasn't a fan of that, but I figured it out. And then on top of that, a 6 point perspective, you can't do the thing where you have like a grid on the floor and you're following those kind of details, because the 6 point perspective, you're spending a lot more time estimating or eyeballing, as you say. And I would say with the 2 point perspective and the 3 point perspective, there is a point where people get kind of distractible and they stop measuring and they start eyeballing. Is measuring the right word? What I'm doing is I'm fixing 2 points. And I'm tracking more than measuring, right? I'm finding this point, and I'm tracking across, right?
Yep.
Everything goes to this point, and everything goes to this point. And I'll tell you, my dad had a drafting table with a swing arm, and I only started doing like these kinds of drawings after my dad disassembled that table. But that swing arm would have been really interesting.
That sounded nice.
I will not be buying a Volkswagen iBuzz. I dreamt about it, and then I saw one, and it felt awfully plastic.
An iBus?
A buzz, but it is a bus. It's like the Volkswagen minibus, the return.
Oh.
I saw it in pictures a few years ago, and felt deeply manipulated by the Volkswagen Corporation. And then
Well, don't feel bad because they're owned by BMW now. So
Sure. Well, no, I'm just saying they often have my ticket punched. Like they can look at me and say, "Oh, like Apple is the worst for that too." I remember when Apple came out with the Apple Watch, and I was like, "I finally did it." I rejected the urge to run out and buy a new Apple product, and that was when I first went deaf. And Jess is like, "Would you be able to hear better if your phone buzzed on your arm?" I was like, "I certainly would." And then she went out and bought me an Apple Watch. Nice. But other than that, like they pull out a product and I'm basically stuck purchasing it. Surly, the bicycle company Surly, equally has my number. I'm like, I would be cautious often about using the phrase pegged. Like they have me pegged, but it's actually in both contexts. Those companies have me pegged 100%. I am a deviant slave to those folks.
Yeah,
And if what I just said is offensive to you, it's because you have a dirty brain. But yeah, being pegged by Apple is my general state of being. Actually, to tell you the truth, though, I had a PC for a while. I felt like I was getting pegged with that computer too.
Just different.
Like without consent.
Yeah.
I remember like when I had the PC, when I turned it on, I would think to myself, "Oh, I miss my Apple." But then I noticed when anybody else turned their PC on, I'd hear them murmur, "I hate Apple." And I thought it's funny because never did I turn my Apple on and think, "Oh, what would life be like with a PC computer?" I turned my Apple on and thought, "I love my computer."
I'm going to leave for a minute, so I'll just say ka-choing.
Bada bing bang. Why do you say ka-choing?
That's maybe that's his sign off.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I like that.
Does he always make the same sound when he signs off?
No, but no.
That would be scary if I missed that many sign-offs.
41.
You like the Ramones?
Oh yeah, I love the Ramones.
I like the Ramones.
You got to pick up the pieces. Come on, sort your trash out. Pull yourself. You got to pick up the pieces. Come on, sort your trash out. Pull yourself back together. Maybe you got too much cash. Better call the law. When you gonna turn yourself in there? You're a politician. Come on, don't be one of Hitler's children. Bonzo goes to Bridgeburg, back for a cup of tea. As I watched it on TV, some really bothered me. Breaking all the bars in town for extended foreign policy. Pick up the pieces. Ah, na, na, the brain is hanging upside down. Ah, I need something to slow me down. Ah, na, na, my brain is hanging upside down. Ah, na, na, I need something to slow me down. Shouldn't wish you happiness. Wish her the very best. $50,000 dress. Shaking hands with your highness. See through like cellophane. You watch the world complain, but you do it anyway. Who am I? What am I saying? Bonzo goes to Pittsburgh and goes out for a cup of tea. After watching on TV, it really bothered me. I drank at all the bars in town for extended foreign policy. Pick up the pieces. Ah, na, na. My brain is hanging upside down. Ah, na, na. I need something to slow me down. Ah, na, na. My brain is hanging upside down. Ah, na, na. I need something to slow me down. Ready? Here comes. Not yet. But pretty soon. Not soon enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one thing that makes me sick when someone's gonna hide behind politics. I wish that time could go by fast. Somehow they managed to make it last. My brain is hanging upside down. I need something to slow me down. My brain is hanging upside down. I need something to slow me down. My brain is hanging upside down. I need something to slow me down. My brain is hanging upside down.
I have this weird feeling every single time we share one of those. Like, kind of proud of myself, and also kind of like, what am I doing with my life? My life.
I thought it was pretty good.
Thanks. Appreciate it. You're very supportive. Best not, encourage us. But I appreciate it. I love you. All right, I'm going to try something new. Here goes. I'm going to put some filtered water into my special stuff.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo, let's go get some picnic baskets. You ever notice that maybe you didn't? Do you know anything about Yogi Bear?
I watched it, but I don't.
That's funny.
This is a good catch. Do you need this?
It's kind of interesting that made such little mess, considering how much of a problem.
I want don't. Maybe you just use it with.
Just wax.
Yeah. Just use it with the pigment on something.
Guess what?
What?
First of all, that smells awesome. Secondly, that's sticky as hell. Which would explain.
It's tree sap.
Oh, that's going to be a long night. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Am I right? Maybe you could check on this. We don't have any Gina with us to help. Maybe Theo knows.
What are you asking?
I haven't got to it yet.
Oh, okay. That's what
You ready?
Yeah.
Was Yogi Bear, same voice actor as Barney Rubble?
Let's see. Who did Barney Rubble? That was June Foray, wasn't it?
I know.
I can't remember. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
You.
I can Google.
Theo, do you like Ralph Bakshi?
Do you like Ralph Bakshi?
Not particularly.
I'm a Bakshaholic.
Well, there you go.
I thought for sure you would love Ralph Bakshi. He seems to be right up your alley. Did you just keep making me coffee?
Well, I have to make.
You're an exceptional woman. I'm not even that's not a joke. I just have so much fluid. I have tea.
I have so much fluid. I love you. Do you want more cleaning products for that?
I don't know. Do I?
Do you want like a wipe?
A whip? No, it's just gonna get sticky for a while, I think. Okay. Where's Gina to tell us?
I can look it up.
Yeah, could you? I wonder how often. Oh. Spin. Oh, look
I
at that.
bought one.
Is this for my blue?
Yeah.
It's the wrong spoon.
Well, I couldn't find the other one.
I know, but my other one's silver.
I know.
Magic. I might be overdoing it with this with the pigment because when I ran out, I stretched it so far. I'm absolutely using way more pigment than I need.
Dawes. Remember Dawes Butler?
Dawes Butler?
Yeah.
That sounds like a funny name.
And what was the other boys?
Yogi Bear and Barney Rubble. There must have been several Barney Rubbles, and I do believe I remember Barney Rubble's voice changed.
Yeah, you're totally right. Dawes Butler.
Yeah. I'm good with
From
voices.
58 to 88.
Wow, yeah. Hey, boo boo. Let's go get some picnic baskets. What else? What else did he do?
Look at this guy. He is the best.
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did he do? Like I also remember about Hanna-Barbera, right? Like if you think about it, I am pretty sure if you look up George Jetson.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss, Quick Draw McGraw.
Let's see how many of these I know. Yogi Bear would be, hey, boo boo, let's get some picnic baskets, right?
Yeah. Huckleberry Hound.
Hi there. I'm your Huckleberry. Did he have kind of a whine?
Huckleberry Hound.
Huckleberry Hound. Can you play Huckleberry Hound for me? I think I have the right memory, but I haven't like mastered the hey there. It's a little more nasal.
It is nasal for sure.
So you remember his voice too?
I know, yeah, and he had his little
because you had those videotapes.
I watched that.
Hey there. Well, what was his catch stage?
I can't remember right now. That my brain is.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, you are.
Valentine. I think maybe like Barney and I have kind of a similar bass.
Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss. Let's hear it. Does Snagglepuss make sounds?
Yeah, he gives them their challenges every time. I love Hanna-Barbera. Oh my god.
Oh, Heavens to Purgatory.
Yeah, Heavens to Murgatroyd.
I remember him.
I love Hanna-Barbera. Oh my god.
I think I do Snagglepuss all the
Quick
time.
Draw McGraw.
No, I think I do Snagglepuss.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so too. He did all of the Hanna-Barbera. Oh my god.
The whole crew, right?
Quick Draw.
Heavens to Murgatroyd's even.
Yeah, even. Yeah.
I don't know anything about that guy.
Quick Draw.
Quick Draw?
Yeah.
Okay, so whose voice is that? Him as well?
Oh, here.
No, but whose voice was that before?
Quick Draw McGraw. I don't know.
No. The other
I didn't recognize that character.
Okay. What's the donkey in Quick Draw McGraw's? Quick Draw McGraw? Was it a donkey?
No. That was a bunny talking.
Okay, that bunny. Find out what the voice actor for that was.
I don't know if that was a character.
As a character, trust me.
No, that was the same voice as the younger brother. You're totally right. That was the voice of.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, whose voice was that? Is the little guy on
Elmo?
No.
Elroy.
Augie Doggy Doggy Daddy Baba Louie.
Bebop Aluba?
Whoa, Elroy Jetson.
Right, that's what I just said.
Chili Willy.
You're a Chili Willy.
What a badass.
Because I also think, can you see if Mr. Slate's in there for the Elroy voice?
The Jetsons?
No, what I was going to say about the Jetsons is look up George Jetson.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Show me George Jetson.
Okay, sorry.
Like the image. Right. Now show me Joe Rockhead.
Joe Rockhead. Whoa. Someone has a Joe Rockhead's indoor rock climbing.
That's not the same.
I know. Joe.
Who is Joe Rockhead?
That was Fat Freddy Flintstone's rival for just about everything. Is that Joe Rockhead?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not the right name. But somebody in the Flintstones was the same character animation as George Jetson. And then what was George Jetson's bot's name? The boss and the Jetsons.
George Jetson.
Right. Okay. What was Mr. Slate? I remember they were just recycling characters.
Yeah, look at that.
Right? Almost wondered if they used the same drawings. Like, and I saw this recently, and I never was able to explain it to anybody. But there was a Rocket Robin Hood that had the exact same storyline as a Spider-Man, and they were the same animation company. I think separated by like a decade. And then they reused an entire episode of the back drawings and the alien drawings that was on Rocket Robin Hood for an episode of Spider-Man. So it was like, because it was animated, right? Like you remember I was telling you, like Power Rangers, they used to have like the Japanese show.
Right.
And then they took it to America.
Yeah.
They just changed it to be, they used all the same fighting scenes, but they would rewrite the narratives. And like the yellow Power, I just saw a thing. I never saw the Power Rangers, but this makes sense to me. The yellow Power Ranger in Japan was a male, and the pink Power Ranger in Japan was a female. But they made two females out of like one of the Japanese characters because they wanted a more balanced team. But you would see a pink female body in the fighting scenes and the androgynous yellow body in the yellow suit. That's why I asked you if you ever saw it, because you seem to have seen it in your past.
Yeah, I totally did.
But you don't remember any of the stories?
I don't remember the stories. I remember like the mean lady was like this cool witch.
Yeah. So it was probably more on when you were like baking or something.
Yeah, baking.
I just had a funny thought and I forgot what it was. Funny's relative. It might not have been that funny. Yeah, funny. Odd. I had an odd thought.
Did it involve baking?
Might have been involved with being baked.
There we go.
Bonzo goes to bed.
Have I told my story about the
No, yes, you did last week.
last week?
A cautionary tale.
Okay, I won't tell it again. We're running kind of half speed because our brains are kind of on strike. And I wouldn't say normally would have expected that to affect me, but I have been quite kind of brain damaged, I think, since the strike.
It's really interesting. It's hit in a different way than I expected.
Yeah. COVID, we were working quite hard, but we got to be together.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really felt like a purpose. And then
yeah,
other kind of crisis times, I think we were, I think maybe your drawing might be more interesting than my drawing. We should probably trade spaces.
Oh, no, yours is interesting. I can show you when I'm done. I'm just doing a little mushroom. Yeah, it was weird. Like, because this has a purpose, but it's like,
yeah,
we aren't.
I sort of feel like I'm in like, well, couple things. Time's moving differently, for one thing. Like, I'm really like, after the first day of strike, I honestly couldn't remember my life from before the strike. So like, what was it like teaching? I can't believe we did that. That seems really scary.
Truth, actually. It's like, I feel like every September, I feel like just that I'm running right off that cliff. I'm like, I have to do it. This is what I do in September. And then we made it and we like landed it and we were going. And now it's like, oh God, I have to go back in.
Yeah, I don't know if people understand how scary it is.
You said it really well in your post, actually. It's like you're making thousands of decisions every single second for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, and also you're surrounded by so many people that you could hurt at any
You
moment.
actually showed me
Like,
the math on that, on the, I think it's 100 life or death decisions
mhm.
per hour
Yeah.
teaching. And that doesn't sound
But
like,
it's like,
it's not firefighting, right? But like, let's say in an hour in an art class, I've talked to 30 students individually. I would think
multiple times
5 to
each.
10 times each
Yeah.
on what they're working on, right? And there is this story I tell where, like, not too long ago, I shouldn't have favorite students, but I do have students that are really easy to work with, right? So one of the best, like, most easily motivated students that I worked with came and showed me a painting. And what had happened was she didn't like the top corner of the painting. So she did kind of the basic, there's a few basic things you should avoid. Okay. Don't put bangs over top of the second eye if the first eye turned out so great you don't think you can repeat it. Right. Don't try and use Jessica flippers instead of hands. Nobody's falling for that. You can't put the hands in the pockets of your character if you can't draw hands either. That's like nobody's falling for that. And so what had happened was she didn't like the top corner of the painting and she chopped it off. And I loved the painting. And I had carefully measured out all the pieces so they'd all be the same so that I could present them on the wall for the show. So normally the power lies in the variety of paintings, or sometimes the power lies in the consistency, even if something as simple as the paper we're working on. There's just certain things you can do to pull an art show together, not to compensate for the kids' work, but maybe to compensate for the fact that we didn't have 30 canvases that year. And so I took great care to cut all the pieces together so that they would fit together in a grid when I was ready to put them up.
Mm-hmm.
And she chopped the corner off the painting. And I didn't say she couldn't. I thought to myself, wow, like that's going to stand out when we put the rest. If they were all different sizes, it would have been fine. But being the only one that had the corner chopped off, I winced. And the wincing was like, oh, I failed you, because had I caught this 10 seconds before you cut this off, it wouldn't be cut off and it's too late to put it back on. So the corner's missing. And what I propose she might do is paste a piece of paper behind it and attach the and repaint the images so that the shape of the painting holds. And I upset the girl so badly, and I found out like a week later that she was upset. So a week passed and it wasn't. What I suggested was that she might want to fill in that space by taping some paper to the back, and then she could just paint it in. And she interpreted it as, you can't do the art show because it's not the right shape. And that's like erroneous. I wouldn't say that. But I was kind of like shocked at why she was so upset. Like, she seemed really upset. And when I tracked sort of the story down, is because of the face that I made. I made the wrong face, because my face probably projected I don't like your painting, but what I was thinking is if I was faster on this, I could have explained to you why it'd be better if you didn't do that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like those...
And you do that all the time. All the time you make these comments that are meant to be loving and supportive, and it's super easy to screw that up. And then when you're tired, you screw up more. And when you screw up, you panic, you lose your cool, and then you screw up way more. And actually last year I screwed up because I was just using one of the wrong products that was like something not something you'd expect to be life or death, but it was, hey, you shouldn't use that anymore. So I was using the wrong product, and it rattled me so badly, and I was just making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And like you need this term. I have no preps. It's like teach all day, 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 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. So like Monday comes and I've got till Friday before I get to go to the bathroom. And
true.
you get through these days like, oh, next term it'll feel like I have too much prep time, but right now I can't breathe. And then, but when you're going through the can't breathe, crushed 4 classes, by the end of the day, you're like trying to estimate like how many of my bad ideas today were like deal breakers. Like how many times today did I absolutely screw up based on the fact that I'm working too hard and I can't think straight. Where'd you get that?
Here.
Perfect. That's exactly what I needed. Look at this. You don't have a spoon.
Ooh,
Well, I do have a spoon.
but that's nice.
But yeah, I did want to put the wet spoon in my beautiful.
I understand.
But you know what? The blue indigo has a weird sort of dryness to it that when I put the spoon in, it kind of did like what am I thinking?
Like it attached to it? Static almost?
No, like cocoa. It's
It's
dry and powdery like cocoa, where the water just kind of like disappears. Bunzer Goes to Pittsburgh is about Ronald Reagan making peace with the Germans, which is funny because the Germans have become, some of the more reasonable people in the world right now. I remember there was a moment where like Donald Trump had gone to go see the German president, and she was so dignified, and she seemed so thoughtful and open-minded, and I was like, the Americans are the bad guys now,
Huh.
They're the Empire from Star Wars. I actually like Americans. I'm not at all anti-American. Your mom cusses and spits when she says America. America. Puh!
She has turned in. Hey, Mom, you've turned into that Eastern European lady.
She's being funny, right?
Me?
No, your mom. She's not really spitting.
Well, I hope not, because like it's all over her house. I think she's just being funny.
Look at this. I'm compiling a pile of.
Your fluids?
There's a bit of tension last week when Felix said to Jesse, "Can you get me a glass of water?" And Jesse overserves my family. So Felix was saying, I'm going home now.
He's been like really experimenting with going on his own too. So that
I know, like he's like, okay, so he's leaving on his bike, which is adventurous, to go through downtown on a bicycle by himself. And he's like, I'm going now, but instead of saying, hey, look at me, I'm going on my bike by myself, he said, can you get me some water? And Jess is like, why am I getting you water? And he's like, well, because sometimes the pipe talks to me funny. And it's like, what did he actually say? That
sometimes it's cool and
water's
sometimes
inconsistent.
It's warm.
And you're like, oh. And I had to explain with my sensitivity that he was just saying to you, hey, I'm going.
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
And it's a big deal. That
in
I'm
fairness,
going on my
pay
own.
attention to him by giving him pancakes and water all the time, right?
Yeah. Like we've been talking a lot about that. It's like we all show our affection in different ways.
Right.
And it's like.
And it wasn't a fight, but after he left, I was like, okay, so I think we're going to go to Canadian Tire, which is nice because there's one downtown, and we're going to buy a water filter. So we go and buy a water filter, and we got the deluxe model, dude, like $40 with a light on it, right? Of the pictures. There's a higher level deluxe model. But then just in case he left with raw feelings, and I don't think he did, I texted him and I said, hey, thanks, your water logic inspired us to go get a Brita water filter. And one of his favorite memes
is
coincidentally relates to Brita water filter. So he starts like blabbing about the meme culture.
Like, Brita? Did you get a Brita? And it was like all caps.
And I kind of remembered that there was something about that, but I mostly didn't believe it would have fit that perfectly into the slot of what was going on. Like I actually thought there's no way what he's saying is just simply a reference to the meme he's been talking about for 2 weeks, because surely I would have caught on to that. Right. But he was like, and then he's like all day quoting the Brita
water filter and talking about hydration.
Right. So
and staying hydrated.
But it was super confusing when he started doing that, right? And instead of explaining himself, he just went deeper into the narrative.
Brita.
Yeah.
Brita.
I always thought that was
It's
stupid,
Brita.
and I always prided myself on drinking out of the tap. And then I'd go to Jess's mom's house, and they're like, they have very particular things about like where you park and what kind of water you drink and the temperature of your sandwich. And I love that about them. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just saying like it's foreign to me. So every time I go to the sink to get some water, Jess's mom's like, "Oh, use the water filter," and I was like, "No, it's okay. Like you can save your filter for important people. I will live off of the
Tap water.
proletariat water." And now that we have the Brita water, I cannot believe that we've been drinking out of these pipes.
I think that's more than anything because it's not like Calgary has beautiful water. And I've always been like a defender of like, no, I'm going to drink from the tap. But this building,
It's a bit
like,
sketchy, the building we live in. It has a nice view, but it's a bit
just
sketchy.
old, and the pipes are old.
And so she's not telling you the whole story. Is we put
No,
we put what's it called?
We had Drano.
Drano into the sink, and it didn't drain the sink. And then like, well, now we need to call the building manager. And then I was like, oh, and also come to think of it, we need to warn the building manager that there's Drano in the sink because when he's trying to fix it, because once you get the Drano stuck in the sink, it's a problem. So I just kept filling the sink and with water, and then bucketing it out, and then carrying it to the toilet where I would flush it into the sewers, which is maybe putting Drano into the toilet sewers is also probably bad. Maybe you should never use Drano. But what I was doing was I was testing the water, the pH, and it was like it would just instantly go full blue. So like it was very like obviously very. It took a long time to sort of like neutralize.
It wasn't ever neutralized though.
Well, what I was doing was the actual water coming out of the tap was still quite acidic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And so I Googled it, and it's like to do with the it's just old pipes.
But that's also why we got the Brita water filter. But we don't know for sure that this water is less acidic. So
it does help with this.
We are hunting down some more
because your strips are at your school and we're locked out.
I do use. No, that's funny because I have never, ever, ever used any school equipment at home. Mm-hmm. I worked for a lady who I remember her complaining. Because you
brought ours in.
Yeah. I remember years ago when there was like 4 projectors in a school. There was like concern that there was only 3 projectors in the school. And then we went to the staff member's house, and like, I'm not going to say who it was, but I will tell you 100% this is what happened. She was giving tours of the house, and in this one room, it looked like it was set up as a gaming room, only there was nothing there except from the game system, and the projector had been unplugged and disassembled and left near the door. And it was the same projectors as the missing projector from school. And my theory is they'd been using that projector at home because they hustled it out of the building, and even had the thought like, we better put this away. And instead of putting it away, took it apart and left it near that bedroom door. And I remember just looking down, I was like, that's that missing. And I never said a word to anybody except from now on a live broadcast, but you'd have to break my fingers to make me tell you who it was.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I did borrow a few pH strips from school.
No, those ones we bought from co-op.
Oh yeah, I brought.
You brought ours into your class. It was the opposite.
Right. But then I stole a few of the ones that I brought to school back for the house.
I think that's allowed.
I think so. We always buy our own stuff.
We always snap at the jump start people. Like you buy a pair of sneakers and like, would you like to donate to Skip Start? And it's like, I'm going to have to coach 60 hours for free this year. And I'll probably end up buying a kid some sneakers. Don't you dare ask me for money. And then we don't take it as bad at Safeway when they're like, do you want to donate to because we're like
the food bank.
Yeah. Really. And then what's the other
one? Or the
one?
Children's Hospital we always support.
The reading ones. Like we'll be at chapters are indigo, and guaranteed if there's 5 books, 2 of them are for school. And they're like, "Do you want to donate to kids reading?" I'm like, "I'm buying books
This is for the kids reading.
for the kids I'm teaching." And we could just let it slide, but I tell them literally every time.
I could just let it
And then they
slide.
go, "Did you find everything?" I'm like, "Are you really asking?" And they're like, "Yeah, did you find everything?" I'm like, "Well, I do have a book that's not on your shelves, and it was a bestseller in Calgary, but it's not on your shelves now, so I don't know how it could be a bestseller." And my wife here also has a book, and you don't have her book on the shelves. And we both won book awards with this book, but it's not on your shelves. And I'll tell you something else. This one drives me nuts. If there's somebody around my age that manages the store and they don't have a copy of Douglas Copeland's Generation X, I'm like, "You're named after
This
a
book.
Canadian author who coined the phrase Generation X for our entire generation, and somehow you don't have Gen X on the shelves."
For shame.
Bullshit.
For shame.
Now, here's another thing, though, I just realized. There was also a band called Gen X. And so it's possible that the nickname Gen X originated as much from Douglas Copeland's book as it did from Phil Collins' first band.
Got it down, Phil Collins.
How do you know these things, Rich? How do you know these things? Oh, it's just like bubble that just keeps floating back and forth.
Speaking of the Gen X, I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but anyway, the Gen X thing, not knowing who Copeland is or having his books. Look at my generation, the Boomers. We had good schooling. We understood the effect, the useless effect of the banning of alcohol on America. And we saw the same thing happening with marijuana. And none of my generation that got into politics did anything about that. It didn't get legalized until which generation would be that sort of was of the age when it became legal here? Would it be millennials?
100%.
Millennium.
No, but it was 100% legalized by Trudeau, who was a Generation X.
Yeah, that's
Gen X.
That's good,
legalized.
but finally it was so obvious, and guys like, cops and everyone were admitting that, oh no, we can knock up more black people this way. And, it was so easy. And my generation that got into it just said, yeah, that's a great thing. Let's just keep it illegal, even though, everyone in my generation in the 70s, at least 50% of the people said, yeah, I use it on a regular basis, and, probably 90% said, yeah, I've tried it once or twice, and I didn't run out and kill people. Anyway,
no, I know.
At least I'm glad it's legal. It's one less. I mean, the people that made and make a shit ton of money off of selling prohibited substances. They just modified their business plan a little bit to accommodate the perhaps drop in percentage that they were making from it. But they opened up stores, stuff like that. I always remember one of the former heads of the Toronto Police Service. The first thing he got into when it was legal was put his name to a bunch of stores.
Professor Dink's, Officer Dick's pot shop.
something like that, you know. And it's just, yeah, I'm not a big fan of my generation's ability to affect change. Let's put it that way. We had a brief moment, I suppose, during the Vietnam War, but all of the other things that impacted society in North America stayed friggin' same.
Well, I didn't live there, but I used to do a lot of reading about it because I really romanticized the boomers. But at a time when I was a young man, it just seemed like the most magical time that these people could have gone to Woodstock or partied naked or I wasn't as allured with the pot, but I was very, interested in the music and the culture. And then it took me a really long time to piece together that the hippies from, say, like Hair, right,
Mm-hmm.
also the yuppies that voted for Ronald Reagan, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Reaganomics was
The result of stupid, lazy, selfish people.
yeah, and but they were the baby boomers, right? So when you look at it as a overall arc, right? There was a war, and people kind of held off having babies, and then my mom was born at the very oldest edge of the baby boomers, so she was born into England that was getting bombed, and so my cousin Joy's wedding, Joy married a German fella, and like all the grandparents like gave their speeches and then talked about how they each dropped bombs on each other. And but my mom's generation, when she was at the very sort of beginning of this giant generation of people that were able to be born because the war was over, when in the 50s, when my mom was a child, there was all kinds of exciting things for kids. There was so much, it was such a huge market. And then in the 60s, when she was a young person, it seemed like the world was revolving around these young people's needs, like music. And then in the 70s, it was all about being Kurt Russell had a film where he was just like, so frustrated that the greatest generation hadn't retired yet, and there's no breaks for these kids in the Dexter Riley films. And then in the 80s, they all sort of like found themselves in these middle class lifestyles, and it was really illustrated well in a film called Flashback. Late 80s, there's a film with Dennis Hopper and Kiefer Sutherland, and Dennis Hopper was like my age now in the film, like in his 40s or 50s,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd been a rebel in the 60s, and he gets arrested in the 80s, almost 90s, and this kind of tight ass federal agent, Kiefer Sutherland, has to get him on the train back to where he's supposed to go. And they become friends, and you find out, spoiler alert, later on, that Kiefer Sutherland was raised by hippies. And it was really interesting because there's a scene, I think it's Lenny and Squiggy play like adult, sort of like boring guys in a bar, where they get really worked up about how they have a double car garage and boring accounting jobs, but they used to be like protesters in Wild. And I just remember sort of like realizing like that's the generation that did that, like the same generation that was like, partying and carrying on about no more wars and rebelling, had kind of like turned themselves into these middle class
That's right.
suburbanites that kept needing the biggest house and all the most stuff. And then, when I started teaching, the first Generation X, like my years, the parents were in control because they were young and able. And then I graduated the first time into a world where having a degree, my dad, and my mom, they could get a university degree as much as just getting a car, and that it was almost free. And if they did, they're almost guaranteed to have jobs where they'd be able to buy houses. And like when I graduated, there was no positions open because the boomers were in their prime, right? And even the next sort of millennial generation started looking for jobs around the time that my parents were retiring. But it's been tough for the kids of the baby boomers, and that's kind of, I think, why I haven't ever associated with Generation X until the teaching strike. Because at the beginning of my teaching career, the ATA representative came by and told me there's 3 options. One option was we all lose a prep. The other option was we lose a day of teacher convention. And the third option was some of the new teachers are going to make less money, which meant in the early days of my teaching career, they voted us off of the grid, and I got bumped down from, I have 9 years post-secondary, but I got bumped from 7 years of post-secondary down to 5 years or 6 years of post-secondary. And now we're at the end of my career. One of the things that they're trying to fatten up the deal with is offering to get people's grid pumped back up. So they basically, for my career, carved out the value of my education and then reasserted it right after I'm getting close to leaving. And I was like, that really is true. The Generation X has always had a shitty deal. So there I said it, shit, online.
There I said it.
And you, a teacher. My goodness. It's okay for me. You know, I'm aged, you know, boomer. You know,
If it makes
everyone's waiting for my generation to die.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
Unfortunately, we've had such excellent health care through our lives that we're living forever. So, you know, get used to it. Sorry, guys.
I love that, actually.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't ever think of you as a boomer.
Pardon?
Tell me what I said.
We never think of you as a boomer.
Yeah, I was born in 1949. That makes me a boomer average. When did it end? 1961, something like that. They started, you know, and then the people that followed the boomer generation, they weren't Gen X, were they? No.
I think there is kind of like a mid. So like Jess's uncle, Dave, wasn't really a baby boomer. I'm not sure if Jess's parents are baby boomers.
56, yeah.
They're technically baby boomers, but I think like there's a very different feeling of being young in the 70s than there was young in the 60s. And so
right.
I think like, did you ever see Bad News Bears?
That was a Disney film about kids playing baseball, right?
Walter Matthau, yeah.
I don't think I did. I remember reading about it, but
was that kind of in your window? Like, were you the right age to watch that, or were you too old?
As
or
a
too
kid?
young?
No, that was after.
Okay, so like you didn't see that the same way I didn't really watch Power Rangers, as it was like,
yeah,
kind of moved on with your life. Okay, because that 1970s kind of like, I don't know, like there was a lot of Journey in Safeway the other day. I kind of wondered like, who wants this music on? But
yeah, you gotta love it when you know. Well, you know, I remember a Doonesbury cartoon where guy who's always doing the radio show was saying, "Hey, you know, here's a rock tune that's a 25 years old. That's a quarter of a century, you know."
Yeah.
He was making a comment about, you know, oh, the boomers, you know, are just like their parents, you know, they've locked on to the music that they first heard when they reached puberty, and that's the end of their musical journey.
Huh.
You know, and a lot of people do that, regardless of the age, it seems.
Yeah, what do you do to stay fresh with music? I know you listen to a lot of radio.
Well, that was one thing that I did in the late 60s. FM came on, and it was promptly became profitable, so it promptly started having lots of advertising again, and I absolutely despise advertising from a very early age. So I started listening to CBC radio because it didn't have advertising.
Yeah.
They didn't play rock music in the daytime, but you know, of any kind. They did do it at night, but I really didn't care. I just, you know, I got a sort of my invite into all kinds of classical music and music of my parents' generation and their parents' generation.
Yeah.
That was popular. And from there, I've always just liked music. So,
Yeah.
and I've always been a radio freak. And now coming to Calgary and immediately finding CJSW, still being a heavy CBC listener, but that was always open. And, now I, support CKUA and CJSW and volunteer at CJSW when I can. And, you get exposed to all of the music that the generations after are finding for the first time as they reach puberty, so to speak. And one of the guys who does a show at CJSW just announced his shows Wednesday mornings, and he's just saying, "Hey, I'm turning 23 in 2 weeks," and I feel so old. And so I ragged on him. I went online and ragged on him. We had a good laugh.
I discovered a lot of the punk rock music that I grew up loving exclusively from the only place you'd hear it back then was CJSW.
Yeah.
And it was just a little difficult to predict what was going to be on. Because sometimes it was like more, I don't know, was there like a rush hour or something? I remember there's something really kind of like objective to my brain that if I left CJSW, say, on and got home and turned the stereo on, there was a good chance to get a kick in the eye when it started up if you weren't careful about what. But I also used to love on Sunday nights a comedy show called the Barkley Flakes Comedy Special. And it's also maybe one of the reasons I got into jazz, because Sing 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 was the theme song, and they would play old radio comedies Sunday nights, and I just freaking loved that.
Yeah, I really like radio when it tells stories because your brain engages an active part of your cortex. Watching video, you've got to make your brain work to not drop down into alpha mode, I think it is, and just sort of absorb the narrative that's being presented. But regardless,
Do you listen to audiobooks?
No, I don't. I have listened to them, but they don't appeal to me.
Radio plays you prefer?
Just pardon?
You prefer radio plays? Like radio?
Yeah, the old time radio stuff when they were telling stories. Yeah, I enjoyed that. As far as listening to stuff now, it's more a matter of just making an effort to access it. But I'm not a big, if it's a book being read by someone, that doesn't appeal to me that much. I'd rather read the book, and I'd rather read the book in a physical form as opposed to reading it on a laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm very, I'm already, a grumpy old man, yelling, "Kids, you stay off of my literature. I want it in print form on paper." Arr!
Yeah, that's fair. I have a Ava Gardner album that's primarily radio dramas, which is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And
before TV, there was a whole pile
Yeah.
of radio dramas and radio shows, and some of them made the transition to TV,
Right.
but a lot didn't.
You have the baby bloomers to blame for that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that was the thing. The baby boomers were such a huge amount of the population at the time that, of course, commerce couldn't ignore that.
Right.
It would have been the death of them. Anyone who did, didn't make the grade thereafter. Right.
I agree.
Totally.
So that
I also wondered at times that up until the boomers, it was pretty normal every generation that there'd be a war, right? And
unfortunately, yes.
And then I wonder with people going off to Vietnam, there's also was the first time people stopped started fighting and not going to Vietnam. And I wondered if after the boomers were done with Vietnam, if not having an entire generation of young men dying led to some effect on feminism, where they're like, maybe you didn't have the same power control that they used to have. If there was if there's 4 girls for 4 boys, there's a different dominance than if there's 1 boy to 4 girls, because I think men got away with shit because they were more rare because their brothers were killed in action. I think being a survivor and having all your parts probably made you quite a catch. And I've often wondered what effect not having half your generation killed off in a war affected the power dynamics between men and women.
Well, the first way to examine that is World War I in Europe. That's 20 million people died in World War I, was it? Most of them were young men.
Right. So after World War I, if you're still
women started to exert a little more power. That's that's when they started. That's when they actually got the vote and things like that.
But I wonder when the men came back and there were so few of them, it made them become a little more accepting of their foibles, all their.
Well, certainly a lot of them did. The ones that I've read who wrote certainly fell into that category. But then again, an awful lot of men come back from any war
damaged
with all of their, they might have not been the greatest person when they went, but they came back with PTSD and they were worse.
Yeah, no, there's no question. I think as a young man, I'd made up in my mind that I would never go to war. And it's not that I'm cowardly.
Well, you need a damn good reason to lay your life on the line for your country.
Yeah.
And since World War II, there hasn't been a war that has involved North America.
Right. That wasn't about
that fell into that category. All of the wars since then were basically to enrich the defense establishment.
Blame the baby boomers for that too.
I'm
just kidding. I was just kidding.
Yeah, sorry. No, we didn't do anything about it other than protest one war, did we?
Yeah, and that was the war that affected them.
Yeah. From that point on, the U.S. just liked wars that they didn't have to put troops on the ground. So you bomb the shit out of everyone. And when they did put people on the ground, a lot of those guys didn't come back, or they came back broken. PTSD. Canada sent troops to Afghanistan, for what? For absolutely no good reason. We asked them to risk their lives and their health, because it was done for political reasons only. Afghanistan and all of that, no threat. But we sent people there anyway. And
I think what bothered me about war and war films, which is all I know about war because I've never been to war,
mhm.
but the idea of being sent out was that, let's say if I was good at wrestling, the more I trained, the better chance I'd have to survive my wrestling matches. Whereas with war, if it was like sword fighting, maybe having some good reflexes would help you. But the way I looked at it was there would be no advantage to being strong, fit, or fast in a war where it's just a bunch of explosives going off. That's just going to be a matter of
And that's what war has been since World War One. To hey, all you guys, I want you to go over the trenches, and I want you to run into mass crossing machine gun fire.
Right, and then some people get hit and some people don't, but it's not.
Let's have 100,000 men die in 1 day or 2 days or 3 days of just abject idiocy.
Yeah, somebody recently, I was listening to something or other, and they were talking about the math of war. That when you could understand the math of war, that taking this hill meant having this many soldiers and being willing to lose this many soldiers, and it was the math of war that changed the direction of that particular. It's terrifying.
Sounds like a board game.
Well, it is, isn't it? Yeah, they make lots of board games like that.
Yep.
Well, I think talking about war might be getting our numbers down. Seems like people are. Let's think of something bubbly. How about bikinis?
Bikinis.
That we can be grateful to baby boomers for bikinis.
Or we could, change it for a different kind of warfare. Tennis, football, baseball. I'm not watching the Jays tonight. I came down here instead.
Oh,
That's
my.
lovely of you. Yes.
I watched one game, and that was the first one they lost against Seattle.
No.
But they lost the second game too. So I can't blame myself.
Want to hear something I think you might find unusual? I don't think I've ever sat down and watched a baseball game.
Well,
I also don't think I've sat down and watched a football game. I've watched parts of football games. I'm probably more likely to have watched an entire football game. Wait, maybe if I got dragged to the stadium, that would count. So I've probably seen a whole football game, but wasn't really interested.
There you go.
I actually haven't seen a whole hockey game either. And because I teach in Cochrane, the kids will often say to me, Mr. Taylor, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah, but I maybe can't answer it. And they're like, what's your favorite hockey team? I'm like, if I tell you that I don't really like hockey, can we still be friends? They're like, not really. No. We can pretend to be friends. What are you looking at?
Ovaries.
Filthy bugger.
I'm looking. Well, look, I did all of these
Here, let's put you on.
neurotransmitters.
Yeah, neurotransmitters.
And then I was thinking, I can move my stuff. Oh, no, it'd be
That's
irritating.
okay.
So
We had an art show last week where we raised some money for teachers.
yeah.
We donated about half the cards to people that we knew needed it, and then we held on to some of the cards because the truth is the teachers aren't going to be suffering until after the strike. Right now we have groceries. At the beginning of next month, there won't be a paycheck for us.
Yeah, it'll be November that sucks.
Yeah, so we kind of wondered if we'd be missing half a paycheck. But we can absolutely count on missing half a paycheck right now. It's just a matter of how much of a paycheck or maybe 2 paychecks. But that's going to be pretty. Normally, I don't have to do it like this. But this paper's so fabricy that I'm just going to keep rubbing it gently.
Well, it's good because I know it's really nice.
Until it breaks off, yeah.
So
it does have these really nice fabric edges around.
Right. It's really nice.
You
know what I was thinking with these?
Do I know what you were thinking?
I have a spine that I've embroidered and I've just been carrying it around for a while.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking it would be cool to put these Maybe cool isn't
Do
the
we
right
not have
word.
the comments on it, or there's just no comments tonight?
Maybe it's kind of quiet tonight. I can look
Oh, because
online.
there's a baseball game on. All right.
Could be.
Give me something to draw somebody. Don't say baseball. Naked baseball? Bikini baseball?
I like frog infestation in Portland.
Oh, I love the frog counter protesters
Okay.
in their inflatable outfits.
Are we talking about the same thing? Is that what
Ice
Theo was saying?
moved in, and then they're
I got a little defensive, like that's funny, but we're also downplaying the fact that Trump is putting
the ice is
soldiers
even.
and all the
and the National Guard.
Well, that's not downplaying it. That's just responding, the only way that they can without, basically shooting
Mhm.
every time they
Is
go
it a little
on the
conspicuous
streets.
that he's putting soldiers in all the states that would vote against him, and then when he does the hostile
Right,
takeover,
they're trying hard as heck to.
are they using the protests as an excuse to?
Well, that's why everyone's doing the frog thing, because there's no way that you're going to convince America that slaughtering people, peaceful protesters wearing frog things, is anything other than the act of Nazi maggots. So,
Okay, but I just take. I know you're being reasonable with what I'm saying, but let's just take the reason off the table a little bit and be a little bit conspiracy based. Okay, here's my new conspiracy. If the states that are against Trump are openly protesting, and the protesting doesn't seem to threaten him in any way, it doesn't seem to be changing anybody's votes, but they're protesting because they want to be heard. But if that protesting is the excuse for him to load all of the soldiers into the states that would give him trouble if he were to have a hostile takeover, for
Start
example,
something.
then the protesters are creating the vessel to populate those cities with the military. And in that sense, if they were to maybe say, okay, let's try another form of protest and completely settle down and disappear and dissipate, would the guard stay there under the pretense that the protesting might rise up again? Or is the guard going to return home since it's not in place if Trump did a hostile takeover? And all I'm saying is that it could be that I feel like if I were to be critical of our own government, for instance, the teacher strike, is the bad guys are getting better at anticipating the good guys' actions, and we good guys keep doing the same actions. So you kind of know there's going to be a protest. So then you pull out the chat GPT and you go, how can I leverage this protest to be in my favor? And then the AI goes, oh, have you considered mobilizing all your troops there? And then you'll have all of your troops arranged around the country in all of the states that would give you friction if you decided to go for another term. And I think that
the problem with that is that's entirely illegal. It's against their own constitution and rules. So, at some point,
that Trump has bent a few rules already.
Well, they've been breaking rules right and center. Trump's done enough stuff that he's open to being arrested. The fact that he isn't says how treasonous the Republican Party is.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I also think that maybe I think that maybe sometimes there was a comment on the bathroom wall at the Alberta College of Arts, and I think it was from a David Bowie song, and it said Billy's got zits and he's picking off scars. And I think sometimes the solutions we have end up becoming target for the problems. So I personally think that, obviously on my side, I tend to lean towards the left, but I also, I'm like hard left, But I also think that maybe one of the problems is that we in the left are a bit predictable. We tend to go after each other.
Yep. There's more divisiveness on the left than there is on the right.
Yeah, those guys on the right seem to be able to get along pretty well, which is
No, it's just that, the guys on the right basically are people that are just full on hate for anything that isn't exactly the way they want it. So they're definitely the shock troops, if you want to say, for authoritarianism. The whole question is, again, it gets back to the military, and do they honor their oath to the Constitution, or do they decide to become Gestapo for an authoritarian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll come down to the troops.
Oh, totally.
Hopefully, all those guys with guns are open-minded.
Well, even if they're not open-minded, maybe they're.
But I think you're right. I honestly
maybe
think
they're honorable.
Yeah.
In which case, they can't, in all goodness of heart, break laws.
right. Outside of the laws, I might be the only person I know that thinks maybe they should stop dancing in the streets and just go home for a bit and not give Trump an excuse to put the troops into their cities, because I feel like he's piggybacking the protests as an excuse to populate those cities, and specifically the cities. I mean, he also did this thing where it was like he wasn't strong in California, and then as China was getting the power to make a nuclear missile, they're drawing this like loop around the map that shows, well, China can only basically hit California, so what are we worried about? I was like, maybe don't bait the Chinese into nuking America if your only opposition is in the circle of what they're maybe that's what he is going to do.
Well, that's why most of those countries have nuclear submarines that can launch from anywhere. So,
yeah. I keep saying
again,
I think I'm going to fare well in the apocalypse, and I'm planning to go full on ballistic bad guy. And what I'm hoping to do with all the donating stuff and taking care of people nowadays is I'd like during the apocalypse, people go, oh, I knew Rich before the shit went down. He used to be a good man. But my plan is to go full supervillain during the apocalypse, and
there you go.
Plan as well.
Retirement plan.
Sorry, I cut you off. I just got really excited.
I didn't have anything else to say. All good.
Baseball.
What about mermaids playing baseball?
What?
What about mermaids?
Mermaids. I'd have to need reference.
Mermaids.
I just had a flash of mermaids.
Yeah, you know what? I hate that idea. I'll tell you what I might do.
What about just mermaids?
Sirens.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
What do sirens look like?
Same difference.
No, they're different.
I know.
What is that?
They're more
fishy.
Fishy.
Why did the sailors get sucked into the sirens if they were so sort of unpleasant to look at? Like, they're monsters. They're
monsters. From far away though, because you'd be on your ship.
From far away.
They were mesmerized by their singing.
They're singing, yeah.
I fell for that too. Come to think of it.
There you go.
Oh, I like that idea of the singing and like the sound waves.
Oh. I don't need to pre-draw with a ballpoint pen, but I just love my new green ink so much I can't stop myself. We're going to see Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, the old trout company is putting on Sleepy Hollow, and we're going out to the Banff Center on Friday. Bought the tickets before we knew about
For the strike.
Yeah.
It's working out in our favor. The imaginative eye for painting underwater. So I'm starting a new book. Didn't think I was going to do that. My publisher asked me if I felt like writing a book for 12-year-olds that doesn't suck. I was like, I like the way you think. Not to say that books for 12-year-olds suck, but there is it's underrepresented for
Boys.
young, 10 to 13-year-old boys. The market is
Black.
I think she said cringe. Can
right.
you make me a book that's not very cringe? And I was just thinking about that. So I'm going to write a book. It might be cringe already, but I'm going to try and make a book that should be cringe into something that's not cringe. Called The Reader. And it's going to be about a young kind of punk kid that causes a lot of troubles, but also loves to read. And he's going to find solace in reading when he's down, and he's going to find solutions in readings when he's confused. And it's also kind of a neat opportunity to reference some of the books that really mattered to me. And so, I'm not expecting he'll catch the references if I talk about Catcher in the Rye or Great Expectations. But I do like the idea that if these kids are reading about a kid who likes to read, they must like a little bit to read, right? Like, even if somebody's making them read, maybe they find a book about a kid who's kind of
opinion to book.
I'm writing a book for reluctant readers, but I want to romanticize that feeling of going into a bookstore and seeing all the book covers, and then
we've been reading What Wicked This Way Comes, and it's Ray Bradbury, so beautiful how he
Something
explains
Wicked This Way Comes.
Something Wicked This Way Comes. How beautiful he explains the library and that drive to get those books is so beautiful.
Yeah. So this book about a kid that loves reading, and when it starts out, he wants a basketball hoop and a basketball net, but he doesn't have the means. And he just impulsively starts throwing rocks at this old guy's house. And the guy comes out into his yard and he's saying, "Clean up your yard!" And then he does this at a few other houses, but the other house has the old guy has a hoop, but the backboard's broken. And then the other house he yells at, they have a backboard, but the hoop's broken. And then there's another house he yells at to clean up their yard, and they're
have a bunch of busted
of old balls. So he goes to these old people's houses and he basically cleans up the toys from their childhoods, their kids' childhood who've moved on. But he also offers to cart the junk away and builds himself a basketball setup. That's just the opening chapter. It's not what the book's about, but to give you an idea of the kid's sort of inherent resourcefulness. I'm hoping that he's quirky will make it readable. And my publisher didn't hate that idea. She also contacted me to say she probably wouldn't publish any more books at the same time that I was saying I'm probably not going to write any more books. So this is a bit of a recovery for both of us. And I'm really embracing doing the book cover. I want it to look authentic. I want it to look like it wasn't made by AI.
That's the thing, to have an original piece is very important.
Yeah. Was that the phone buzzing?
No.
Was that my imagination?
Yeah.
Oh, is there somebody else with us? No, those are just lots of videos.
Mhm.
What are you looking at?
The effects of serotonin.
Right.
Because it's cool. I was looking at where all the neurotransmitters and the hormones are released from,
Mhm.
and it kind of follows the same flow as like the energy, like the chakra
Yeah, I
levels,
gotcha.
and then
Yeah.
so it's cool because serotonin it has like more of a cycle than like a release place. So it's like
Yeah.
cycles from the brain and then brain
Mhm.
gut cycle.
Yeah, but they do tend to sort of show up where people talk about them too, like
Mhm.
yummy, 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 I got serotonin in my tummy. Right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Like you feel that love in your tummy.
Yeah, that's right.
Or sugar. Ah, honey, honey. All the sweet stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Serotonin.
Your sweet stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
You are my candy girl. And you got me wanting
I just can't believe
Is that what you're going to sing for us tonight?
this of loving you.
I just can't believe it's true.
I just can't believe
The loneliness of missing you. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Honey, honey. Is that on our record?
You are my candy. Do we have the Archies?
No, on our record.
Oh.
Do you have copies of that?
Yeah.
Let me see. I bet you we could play that without any.
Oh, yeah.
There's no copyright problems with this. Till there is. Here. It's called Rumble House. My idea funny. On a 10-inch. And that's one of my paintings. And then, okay, side one, the songs of the Rumble House was I Got You, Babe, In Spite of Ourselves, God Only Knows, Anytime, Girl from the North Country, Under Pressure, For What It's Worth, I Am Superman, and Let the Sun Shine. You want to play this? Will you be able to get up and fix it? Yeah. Is that wild? Did you know we had a record, Theo?
No, I didn't.
My idea funny.
Cool.
It's not good.
That's okay. I learned an interesting thing today
Yep.
about music and AI.
Yeah.
I was listening to Practical Lace on CJSW.
Yeah.
And they talked about a new album by Imogene Heap.
Oh, yeah.
And this album uses AI, but it's AI that's been trained exclusively on her stuff. And I think that kind of use of AI is perfectly good.
I use AI all the time.
It's not ripping off anyone else's. It's not using AI that's been trained on anyone else's intellectual property.
Yeah.
She's basically doing the equivalent of what I would describe in Photoshop as using filters. You know? And because it's all her own work.
Right.
And I think that's a very responsible use of AI in the creative process.
Yeah. I like to use AI to make sure I'm not doing something basic. So the first thing I did when I just hang on 1 second, Jess, and then I'll be quiet. the first thing I did when I was thinking about doing this book cover for the book's called The Reader, was I threw a description of it into the AI, and it gave me a picture. I was like, well, I'm not doing that picture, and it's good for like kind of. I like it for the wisdom of the crowds, right? Like I like to use it to see. I used to have a rule that the first idea I had, I would throw out no matter what, because my first idea was always the idea that everybody had. And now my first idea is straight up whatever AI gives me. That's the direction I'm not going to go. So there's lots of uses for it. Like I also think you should take a photo of your artwork, open up an AI and drop it in, and it'll tell you like a really deep reading of your work that's probably pretty bang on, right? Like I can sit there and think of the most obscure artist and do an interpretation of an Otto Dix painting and then put it into AI and it's like, oh, I didn't know you liked Otto Dix. And it even sometimes figures things out, and it's a little coy. Like I asked it what it thought of the art show we put up in July on my birthday, and we were showing with Salvador Dali and Rich Theroux and Mark Vasquez. And when we put the Salvador Dali into the images, is like that one really stands out as strong. It almost looks like it's inspired by Salvador Dali. Like, dude, that is Salvador Dali. But it's really interesting how strong whatever algorithms are doing it can look at your work and interpret it. It's quite lovely, actually. It gives you a deep look into how your work can be perceived at the very least. Yeah. I'm going to set up so Jesse can play my idea funny. Ready? Here comes.
If you're traveling in the northern country fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to the line through the
I'm sure you're going to hear from Bob Dylan's lawyers.
What's that?
I just said, I'm sure you're going to hear from Bob Dylan's lawyers now.
Oh, you can hear it? I think we've been pretty safe. Here, crank it up.
That's the way I remember. If we go when it's snowing late fall, when the rivers freeze and the summer ends, we see for you where so warm. From the howling wind. If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, we say hello to the one who lives here. She once was a true love of mine. If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. You ready, guys? So next song we're going to cash in Bob Dylan sings together. You want to cash that right? I just thought Bob Dylan. I thought Bob Dylan had right. You want to cash it out?
You know what? I figured it was Johnny Cash because Bob Dylan would be like half a year with him. Oh, there, the Johnny Cash, but would you want me to get it right?
That's true. I don't want you to get it right too.
And that's why I noticed it.
Right. You let us make shit up. You want to break?
This is the right exclamation mark.
For she once was a true love of mine.
True love of mine.
For she once was a true love of mine. True love of mine. You're the best love of mine. A true 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 love of mine. You're the best of mine. A true love of mine. A true love of mine.
Is it dusty?
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, the life will still go on, you leave me. The world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. Your 25 seconds break here. You have some time to make out. Start with my knee. Wet mustard. I'm no sensing in my
It's
hardwood.
so funny because if you didn't know it was a puppet show,
God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, my life would still go on bravely. The world could show nothing to me. So what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. 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 God only knows what I need without you.
We're recording. We're recording. Record.
no.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there,
Or she does.
telling me I got to beware. Anytime you stop children, what's that sound? If I look it's going down.
I'll put it in.
Oh.
Satellite TV gone. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds. I can so much resistance from behind. God, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a feeling for the heat. There's 1,000 people on the street. Singing songs and carrying signs. Don't you say, hurry for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoid sightseeing. Into your life it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Till our life then comes and take you away. It's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop now. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
So we did this while it was COVID and we were making puppet shows and singing.
I am Superman. I know what's happening. I am Superman. I can do anything. You don't really love that guy, you make it work now, do you? I know you don't love that guy, 'cause I can see right through you. I am Superman. I know what's happening. I am Superman. I can do anything. If you go a million miles away, I'll track you down, girl. Trust me when I say I know the pathway to your heart. I am Superman, and I can. If you go a million miles away, I'll track you down, girl. Trust me when I say I know the pathway to your heart.
That makes me really happy.
I miss having our friend to really enjoy those. I'll try and time it so I can finish the record.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah.
It's crazy how the audience could when we at the end. Please let it be. Yeah, that's it.
Oh shit.
Want me to get it?
Yes,
I'm
please.
kind of blocked in
Okay.
with the paintings for them.
I don't.
I got it. Maybe we save the other side of that for another night. It's cute though. Like it brings back some pretty. I highly recommend cutting yourself an album.
It brings back memories for sure.
Yeah, that's a nice piece. I didn't know we were so groovy.
Indeed.
What a nice song.
Half of Hair was just unbelievably good.
Mm-hmm.
Half of Jesus Christ Superstar, unbelievably good. Other half, Must have been like for context.
Manchester, England, England.
That movie, I saw it as a movie, Hair, and it just killed me as a kid. And that goes back to the conversation I was having with Theo earlier. Is I was so deeply jealous of those people that got to be hippies till I realized they grew up to be the Reaganites, and then I was like not jealous anymore. But I also remember so vividly in that film, and I might have seen this like a couple lifetimes ago, a long time ago. The first time I saw it was just like, obviously I was like pro hippie, like, hey man, you got $1? And the young cowboy fella's like, why would I give you $1? And he's like, because you got one, man. Like, just share your dollars. And I thought, yeah, man, just if you got $1, give it away. And then as an older person, I think I saw a clip of it and I was like reminded of that scene. And maybe after like running the gallery for a number of years as well, it was like, hey man, you got $1? And he's like, why should I give you $1? It's kind of like, oh, I can kind of maybe a little bit understand why he said that now. Not to say I would say that myself, but I did empathize a little bit with like, go earn your own dollar. You bum.
It's fine. Those weird things.
There were some kind of rough kids at my school, and none of them were rough, but they were calling me Jamaican swears at in class. You're like, you know what this means? I'm like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
You want to go to the office? Oh, I didn't know what it meant. Yeah, you did. Because it suits my personality. I'm like, you're not wrong. You just can't say it here.
Listening.
In the pocket. Okay. Something with purpose. How much time we got left?
Oh, it's 9:18.
Not much time.
That went really fast.
Do you have an idea?
Time for songs. It's time
Yeah.
for songs, Jess.
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to sing tonight?
Which one were we talking about just earlier?
Sugar Sugar. But I'd actually love it if you had it in you to do some something from Hair. Not mandatory in any way. You're a free spirit.
Yeah, that was just that was really hard. And on the record, I can hear that I wasn't feeling good because I did not make the high. It's like such a good spread. Like,
there was a video that just crushed me.
That's how I learned about that song. You showed me that. Like
from the cast of Hair in New York. So I think it was just like there's a bunch of like probably theater students, right, that were kind of putting together this production, and maybe like early social media days of like theater where they like capitalized on having access to a video camera and just had themselves like
walking in the fall in
just
New York.
Stumbling through a park in New York and like jumping up on park benches and really belting it out with such like passion.
Yeah,
it was really beautiful.
Okay, I'm trying. I will. Maybe I can do that. Okay. Sweet. Oh. We starve, look at one another, short of breath, walking proudly in our winter coats, wearing smells from laboratories, facing a dying nation of moving paper fantasies, listening for the new told lies, with supreme visions of lonely tunes. Somewhere inside something there is a rush of greatness. Who knows what stands in front of our lives? I fashion my futures on films in space. Silence tells me secretly everything, everything. Sing my space songs on a spy web star. I don't know. It's the Timothy Leary part, but I forgot.
Manchester, England, England.
Life is
right?
around you and in you. Answer for Timothy Leary. Oh, this one is maybe even slightly different too. Let the sun shine in. Let the sun shine in. The sun shine in. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun shine in.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Thanks.
We think I cover my book. Tune in for the rest.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much for joining us, Theo and Kelly.
Goodbye,
I
farewell.
like the book thing that you're working on.
Like it?
Nice.
Yeah. Didn't even use a computer. The mind's eye.
Yeah.
Good night. We love you.
Good night. We love you.
Adieu. Adieu.
Good night.
It
It was fun.
It was fun. Thank you.